Welcome to Travel in Style, the series that brings you the very best of the best. So we start our jet-set trail in Ravello on the Amalfi coast, in the southwest of Italy. Situated some 350 meters above the sea, perched on a craggy cliffside, Ravello commands the ultimate panorama over what is, quite simply, Europe's most magnificent stretch of coast. Along with its neighbors, Sorrento and Positano, Ravello conjures up an irresistible mixture of glamorous celebrity hideaways and breathtaking natural scenery. It is the ideal site to base yourself for exploring a unique landscape that has inspired the likes of composers Richard Wagner and Edward Grieg, the painters William Turner and Miro, and authors D.H. Lawrence, Tennessee Williams, and Gore Vidal. In the center of Ravello, there is plenty of cultural sightseeing. But not to be missed is the 11th century cathedral that stands in the town's main square, the Piazza Duomo. But perhaps the real joy spending time in this beautiful small village is to simply wander around the tempting boutiques, bars, and cafes that are hidden away down the narrow cobbled alleyways. It is no surprise that Greta Garbo successfully sought refuge from the crowds and prying paparazzi here in Ravello. Ever since then, it has become a favorite haven for Hollywood stars. But where do the celebrities like to stay on this spectacular coastline? The name Hotel Caruso springs to mind. For over 100 years, this former 11th century palace has welcomed guests through its doors. Pantaleone Caruso and his wife Amelia rented 5 rooms in one of the wings from the owner Marquis d'Afflitto. Caruso named his venture Pension Belvedere, and the hotel immediately proved a success. Its reputation was elevated in 1903 when an American journalist fell in love with the hotel and wrote a long article in the New York Times giving the small pension great fame across the Atlantic. The press coverage brought wealthy Americans who wintered on the European Rivieras and sought out charming places to stay. They immediately adopted this remote little hideaway, and very soon the 5 rooms became 24, and so the entire palazzo was transformed into a hotel. It was then that Caruso added his name to the hotel. Its reputation drew an impressive list of prominent personalities from royal families to actors of the silver screen. Today, the hotel has 48 rooms, with most offering sea views, and many also have their own private gardens. It remains successful despite some stiff competition from the relatively new Palazzo Sasso, another stunning 5-star deluxe hotel built in 1997, and the many 4-star hotels around Ravello itself. But what sets any of the world's luxury hotels aside from the rest is often its staff. You can often tell the quality of a hotel by the man who holds the golden key, or le clé d'or. The key is to an exclusive club established in 1929 for the hotel concierge, who is often expected to achieve the sometimes impossible requests of his mega-rich guests. There are now 3,000 members in over 50 countries who proudly display the gold-crossed keys on their lapels.
Yeah, when they open the road, I will let you know. Okay? You're welcome. Bye-bye.
No, I'm a concierge here at the Hotel Caruso since the beginning of the season on 2005, and the hotel is different but very, very nice because just redone everything and lovely. It's very nice, quite different as a location, and the people here in Ravello are very friendly, very warm and nice ambience. Even if you go out of the hotel, they like you feel home. You see, because they are very, very nice. I'm very proud of working here. I'm very proud of Caruso, of all the things here in Ravello, and the things I really like. Just the contact with the guests every day and try to help them and make them happy.
Keeping the guests happy should be an easy task with bedroom accommodations like this. The rooms and suites are a delight. Pantaleone Caruso would have been very proud to see how the hotel has changed so much over the years, but has still managed to retain the charm and homey feel that made it so famous. The design of the rooms and bathrooms are understated, light and airy, yet exude a warm feeling of luxury. Of course, the biggest selling point remains the incredible view of the Amalfi coastline.
Well, the situation, the position of the hotel, the story of the hotel, and the people that arrive here, the guests, they're really nice. They really appreciate what we have, what we do. So more you get compliment, more you work better, and the guests are wonderful, the staff as well. I live for this job. It's inside of me is like a mission for me all my life, and I love this job. I don't do just to do it. I do with the pleasure, and then it'd be much easier for me and for my staff as well. I give a relaxing way to work. The guests appreciate that. They feel that.
Here, the menu reflects Italy's traditional food.
The real menu we have the anchovies from Cetara. It's not really from Ravello. It's from Cetara. It's near here, and then we have this packery. It's big pasta. Done it with the seafood, and it's really typical from the region. I'm really proud, really. The Caruso is inside, it's something, the name, the position, everything.
This truly is a magical hotel in a magical location. But perhaps the French poet André Gide sums it up best when he evocatively described it as between the sky and the sea.
This time, we're visiting the wonderful region of the Algarve in southern Portugal. Maritime history, hillside villages, and beautiful beaches encompass this stunning area. It's an area blessed with architecture, character, and a warm year-round Mediterranean climate that welcomes visitors from around the world to experience the stunning scenery on offer. From the sandy beaches of the east to the majestically rugged cliffs in the west, this coastline is interspersed with cave-like grottos, traditional towns, and quaint fishing ports. To tell us more of this region is the well-informed João Massimo.
The Algarve is located in Portugal, which is the southernmost country of all Europe, and the Algarve itself is also the southernmost province of Portugal. It's a beautiful area. We have great beaches. We are located in the west. We have beautiful little beaches along the coastline. Some of them you can only reach by boat. Most beautiful parts to visit doing a boat trip is obviously the west, due to the incredible coastline we have, to the cliffs all along the coast. And along those cliffs there are many caves, some bigger, some smaller, which you can visit. It's beautiful because you have a crystal clear water, reflecting sometimes, if the sun shines in the right position, reflecting on the upper side of the cave. So it's a beautiful visit to you.
With a head for heights, you may well wish to take the view from above, but if not, then wander down the cascading steps that lead you to one of the small coves, and then board a local fishing boat for your own private tour. One of the most famous of all the spots along the coast is the Caves of Lagos. No visit to the Algarve should go without a trip to witness the striking structures that both wind and water have carved over the years from these limestone cliffs. Everywhere you look, there are interesting shapes and holes in the rock face that lead you into a hidden port. Here you can rent a boat and simply bob around for a perfect, lazy summer's day. It's the tranquility and spectacle that makes this area of the Algarve so special, for everywhere you turn there's something new and unique to admire. The scenery is quite spectacular. These clifftop walks, while not for the faint-hearted, are a joy for mind, body, and soul. In the far west corner of Portugal, the cliffs become altogether more powerful and menacing, and the ocean currents stronger than the calmness of Lagos. But as this is the most southwestern point in Europe, it's not too surprising. To tell us more of the history is Valentino Agostino.
This place is called Cape St. Vincent because, according to a legend, in the 4th century there was St. Vincent of Saragossa, and he was killed in Valencia. He was killed by the non-Christians, and then it is said, according to the legend, that his body came ashore. It appeared here in this area, and then there was a small chapel made in his area, in this cape, and they were coming on pilgrimage. And then our first king, Afonso, when he was going to a battle against the Moors, it is said that he promised to the saint that if he was going to win the battle against the Moors, he would build a church in Lisboa. And then, in fact, he won the battle. So nowadays, as a matter of fact, St. Vincent is the patron saint of Lisboa, of Lisbon.
Perched high on the cliff tops of Cap St. Vincent is the lighthouse, built over the ruins of a 16th century Franciscan convent to give the ships safe passage to and from the Mediterranean. It's time to navigate ourselves back along the coast to a wonderful hotel nestled on a small cliff face. Overseen by the impressive bell tower bearing its name, the Villa Vita Park Hotel is a wonderfully traditional masterpiece that has something for all the family. The selection of pools is endless, and the grounds just beg for you to come and explore them. Recognized by two of the most renowned luxury hotel guides, the leading hotels of the world, and the Kiwi Collection, you know before even arriving that you are in for a true 5-star experience.
Villa Vita Park has been designed about 17 years ago, and we wanted it to really be sort of very reminiscent of what Portugal was in the old days, a little village with great Moorish and sort of Algarvian architecture, and sort of these whitewashed walls and beautiful chimneys and just great terracotta tiles and great landscape, and it's just a very warm village feel to this resort. Beautiful tropical gardens. This landscape was developed about 17 years ago by a top landscape artist out of Florida, and really we wanted to incorporate a great landscape that was reminiscent of the Algarve, of the coast, the fauna and flora of Portugal, but also give it a feel. The villas are very private on the far end of the resort, and beautiful swimming pool. Very private sort of little oasis within the resort, and we really want that for sort of guests that want to come and stay for more than 10 days with families and just be totally away. And it's a little home away from home.
Imagine your own villa within the hotel complex, with swimming pools, gardens, and gated entrances to give you the privacy you deserve. It's this home from home philosophy that attracts all manner of guests from around the world, including famous sports personalities such as Michael Schumacher, to name but one. As this is an ocean resort, something that all the guests can share are the wonderful private beaches that adorn this property.
We've got a beautiful little private beach down on the bottom of the cliff, which we really want to sort of make that a little oasis more for romantic couples. And obviously the families use the swimming pool. We also have a beautiful beach out in our beach club on the Arts Nautica restaurant, which is only 5 minutes away.
A meal here might just be the perfect way of finishing off your exhausting day of lying in the sun. The energy levels are restored, so why not explore one of the 30 golf courses on offer in the Algarve? This is the Oceanicos Amandera 45-hole course, which is renowned for its excellent eco-friendly policy, as John Schauder explains.
The villas, golf courses, and the entire property, 618 acres, is designed with the environment in mind. All of our infrastructure, including water, sewage, roads, electricity, everything is to minimize the impact we have on the local areas.
Of course, it wouldn't be world class if you didn't have your own Hummer-style golf buggy to drive around in. Set in an area of outstanding natural beauty, with fabulous views to the magnificent Monchique Mountains and across to the ocean, this course simply couldn't be easier to get to.
The two courses we have here, they are signature designs, even though Nick Faldo, who designed one of them, does not like to use that word. He was instrumental from the start designing it, as was Christy O'Connor Jr., obviously a very famous golfer in his own right over here on the European side. They've designed 18 holes each and have made at least handfuls of visits. Christy O'Connor Jr. actually lives around in the area, so he does frequent us quite often.
Golf is not just purely about the sport, it's also about the 19th hole, or in this case, the 46th. It's time to explore again.
The Sagres Fortress, it was the area where Prince Henry the Navigator decided to make a place where they could see better ships coming and going to Africa. We can say that Prince Henry was not really a navigator. We always say Henry the Navigator, but he was the father of the discoveries.
The prince and his people appear to have been hugely instrumental in the way that we travel today.
So Prince Henry was the man who had the ideas, so he put them together. And then the discovery started in 1415, when they went to Ceuta, North Africa. And then later on, we had the navigator from Lagos, Gilianos, who went to Cape Pujador in 1434. Then later on, Vasco da Gama, or 97, and then Pedro Álvares Cabral into Brazil. So all the navigation started here.
We're heading slightly inland to the whitewashed city of Silves. Once the capital of the whole district, and referred to in the beginning of the 19th century as the Kingdom of the Algarve, it is presided over by the impressive Castelo de Silves, which dates back to the days of the Moors in the early 11th century. Most of the town and nearly all its ancient buildings were destroyed by the earthquake of 1755, but it remains enchanting, with its hilltop cathedral of Gothic design and ancient tombs. The cafes and houses around the cobbled streets at the very heart of Silves are charming. It's a very relaxed town, with hustle and bustle kept to a minimum. The locals greet you with a warm smile that shows just how proud they are of their home and its culture. And some of that culture is in its famous pottery that is seen all over the world.
Well, the pottery was founded in 1968 by two artists, an Irish artist, Patrick Swift, and Lima de Freitas, a Portuguese artist. And their idea was to revive the traditional Algarve pottery, and they introduced some of their new designs as well. as some of the old designs which they tried to be influenced by but never copy, and the emphasis was on the hand-painted, handmade pieces which are very individual. Very vary the clientele. We have people from as far away as Japan to Australia, New Zealand, America. Obviously the big problem with people who live far overseas they can't carry a lot back with them. We do have people from all over the world, which is great.
A short stone's throw from the potteries brings us to the lovely fishing port of Lagos, where our world-class trip to the Algarve will soon be coming to an end. Once the home of our friend, Prince Henry the Navigator, the town is steeped in history. Now it's a hub for cafes, shopping, and having fun in the sun. A statue of the boy king of Portugal, Dom Sebastião, presides over the main square, watching the tourists go by. He became heir to the throne 2 weeks before his own birth, due to his father's death in 1554, and succeeded to the throne 3 years later. On the waterfront, protecting the town, is the Forte da Ponte Bandeira. Built in the late 17th century, it guarded the entrance to the harbor, where we find this excellent replica of the Caravel Boa Esperança. Set amongst the more modern-day gin palaces that can be found in the marina, it keeps hold of some of that ever-important history that visitors expect to find in Lagos. As our journey comes close to an end, it's time to batten down the hatches and call the hotel concierge to arrange for our boat to collect us for a romantic trip home. Our captain has his crew set the scene as he sets the modern-day navigation systems into action. And off we sail along the coast, with a touch of bubbly to assist in getting the most pleasure from these wonderful views. The Algarve leaves us with a warm feeling for its culture, history, and wondrous surroundings that would suit any world-class traveler, from the dedicated sunbather to the culture vulture. Sadly, that's all we have time for. For now, it's time to say farewell. Till the next time, goodbye.